Hi everyone, it's Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts, and I have a visitor here this morning. He wanted to say hi. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. What's your name? What's your name? Jamie. How old are you, Jamie? How old are you?
4.
No, you're not 4. How old are you?
6.
You're not 6 either. How old are you?
7.
You're not 7. Are you 2?
Yeah.
Can you say, I'm 2?
I do.
Yeah. Are you gonna go play with Daddy and your brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
You want to get your lovey? Okay.
Bye.
You saying bye?
Bye.
Can you wave?
Yeah.
Can you say bye?
Bye.
Can you wave?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you guys for letting him say hi. He sees me setting up every weekend and he just wants to be on the video. So that was Jamie. Hi everyone. This is Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts. Welcome back to my channel. I'd like to thank you all for spending time with me. You guys have been so supportive and so sweet, and I'm really grateful. So I don't really have much to report about our week this week. It was kind of a weird week for us. We had a lot of really great moments and a lot of really hard moments as far as parenting goes, but you parents out there know what that's like. But yesterday was a really good day. Today's been really good so far. It's absolutely beautiful here, and it's not going to be brutally hot today. It's actually going to be really nice. So I think we might maybe have a picnic lunch outside. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but it's good to be with you all. Thank you all for your great responses to my last video on my organization and storage. A lot of you suggested some ideas for my DMC, which I really appreciate. And there's a fly in here. Lovely. Sorry about that. And that was really helpful to me. You guys gave me a lot of great ideas, and so I'll have to play around with some different ideas. I think my favorite was to have them either in the Snapware boxes like my overdyes are, but just organized by number family, like in the, like 100, like the way I have them in my baggies in the extra DMC box that I have. I liked that idea. I also liked the idea of having them hung like in my closet in number order somehow. I don't know. We'll see, but I really do appreciate you sending me your ideas. It was really fun. And to address, okay, first I have like 2 little notices. The first is that I've been getting so many emails, so many questions recently asking me for links to things that I show or asking me about that stuff. So I'm going to start with this video. I'm going to start putting links down below in the description box. I signed up for a link shortener service so that the links aren't like 100 million letters and numbers long. So if the links look weird and short and start with the BIT, that's normal. It's just to make it easier to post a lot of links without taking up a ton of space. So I am going to try, emphasis on try, to put a link in the description box to everything I mention that I can. Anything that I can link, I will, and I'll either link it to 123 Stitch or another store where it can be purchased, or a website. And I made an Amazon storefront where I can link things like my stitching accessories, my scissors, my needles, my, things that I use to stitch, and as well as finishing stuff, because I've gotten a lot of questions about mat board and foam core and magnets and glue and all of that stuff. So I created an Amazon store front that I will link in the description box of this video, and you can go there to purchase project bags, the project bags that I use, or the punches, the paper punches that I use to make my thread tags. I've been getting so many emails and questions about that, so I thought it would just be easier to make a storefront. Please do not feel obligated to buy anything from my storefront on Amazon. If you do, I think I make a tiny little commission or something for having a storefront. I'm not even totally sure how it works, but please don't feel obligated. I'm not asking you to. It was just to make it easier for me to share with all of you all of those things that I get asked about a lot. It was just easier to put them in an Amazon store. So those are my 2 notices, that there will be links for as much of the stuff that I talk about as I possibly can. And then there will also be a link to some of the places where I shop most frequently and the Amazon storefront where you can find finishing stuff, stitching accessories, things like that. Anyway, that's all that I have about that. I hope that will be helpful to you. I hope that will help answer some of your questions and make some of the stuff I talk about easier to find. But anyway, regardless, thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for interacting with me. I love reading your comments, and I try to answer, you know, a handful of them. I try to answer questions, and I also try to comment back to, you know, a handful of people every time, just kind of by random, because I do like interacting with you. But as my channel grows, it's getting harder to respond to each of you individually. So keep the questions coming, keep commenting, and I will do my best to respond and comment back and answer questions. So those were my little notices that I needed to share. I have a lot to show you today, so let's get right into it. This is going to be a regular whip update with finishes, whips, some haul, some plans, just kind of your good old regular floss tube video. I do have a couple fully finished objects to share. I shared these a couple of, maybe about a month ago now, that they were fully finished as far as mounting the stitching, but they weren't done and ready to display, and they are now. So I want to show you. The first one that I want to show, these are the hands-on design A Year in Chalk. I have 3 that are fully finished, and I'm going to show you how I can switch them out. These are mounted, this is my April one. These are mounted on this little chalkboard easel from Hobby Lobby. The other side is corkboard, this side is chalkboard. And I chose not to paint it, but you could easily chalk paint this to be white or gray or whatever your decor needs. But this is April, and you can see I just did a white. This is grosgrain ribbon. I think you say grosgrain. This is white grosgrain ribbon and some floral stuff, some greenery, and these little like yellow pussy willow things, and then a little daisy button. And that is April. And I have this with magnets and washers, and I will show you. Those are the washers. I have, these are called neodymium. I can't remember how to say it. These are very strong magnets. You can see they're shiny silver. I have some linked in my Amazon shop. I get all of mine on Amazon, and you can get a pack of 100 of these for about $13. So they're very affordable, and they're incredibly strong. These are just regular little steel washers, and you can see it's very strong, okay? And then you can adjust it. So this is how I will change these out. I have 2 more of these done. Again, this one's April. Let me show you March. Let me get it on here. It's not going to be totally straight, but whatever. This one's March. Again, with some little green floral and these little white flowers. Again, a white grosgrain ribbon. And this time I did a little shamrock button. And these are, as I said in my last video, or 2 videos ago, these are shank buttons. Thank you everyone who responded. I asked, what is that button called that has the loop on the back? They're called shank buttons. I just use my wire cutters to snip the loop off, and then you just have a little flat button that you can hot glue to the middle of the ribbon. So that was March. And then the last one of these that is fully finished now is February. I couldn't do January because I can't find pine boughs anywhere. I'm gonna have to wait until Christmas time to get the greenery that I need for winter stuff. This one is February, and I just used some little boxwood picks and then these little hot pink seed things, another white grosgrain ribbon, and this time I did a pink rose as the center. So that's February. And those are 3 of the hands-on design year in chalk pieces that are now fully finished. Of course, I won't get to display them until next winter and spring, but they're done. And I will continue to finish more of them as I complete them. So that's coming up. Let me set this down. Okay, next fully finished item. This one is my Wordplay by Brenda Gervais. I only have one of these done. I have April done, so this of course won't be able to be displayed until next April, but this is my Brenda Gervais Wordplay. It's so cute. I love it so much. So, sorry for the squeaky chair. So again, these are mounted on this antique slate that I found at an antique store. I showed this before. This is the stitching just mounted on mat board with a blue gingham backing. And then I mounted this separately. So you can see this piece comes off by itself, again with magnets and washers. And I'll show you in a minute that the bow piece also comes off by itself. Of course, now it's all covered up. So with this, I just did this blue with white stitching bow in the back, and then a, it's not really burlap. Well, it kind of looks like burlap. I don't know, burlap bow in the middle. And then I glued a little robin's egg that I found those at Joann's on clearance a couple weeks ago in the spring shop. A little assortment of eggs and nests and things. So I glued one there, and then I just have some daffodils, because there are daffodils in this pattern everywhere. Daffodils, some of these yellow, they're not really forsythia, but they kind of remind me of forsythia. And then more of these little pussy willow things, except these ones are kind of pink. So that is my Brenda Gervais April. And if you can see, oh, you can't see that at all. Let's do it here. This whole bow piece comes off, and there's a washer, and I just put 2 magnets on the back, and it magnets right on there. And those magnets are so strong. I have 2 small ones, and they're so strong that's not going anywhere. So this is I like to tuck those tails behind the stitching. So this is my April Wordplay by Brenda Gervais. I use this stand, this easel that I found at Hobby Lobby. I showed this a couple of videos ago. This is what I used to set this on. And this actually has been sitting, because I love it so much, even though it's not April or springtime anymore, this has been sitting on my piano because I think it's just so pretty on this little easel. So as I finish more of the Wordplays, more of them will go on here, and I can change out the bow seasonally. Last fully finished thing that I want to show, and this is gonna be, again, it's a month past its prime display time. I fully finished June from my Country Cottage Needleworks Cottages of the Month. This is June. Isn't it so pretty? I love it. This is mounted on that galvanized, I think it's a cookbook stand. It's a book stand, you can see. I found this at Hobby Lobby in the galvanized section. Ooh, it's a little dusty. Or those are hot glue strings, possibly. And again, this piece is just mounted on to this with magnets. There are magnets glued to the back of the stitching mount. But because this is galvanized steel, I didn't even have to glue washers on here. Magnets stick directly to this surface. So this is June, and you can see I did a green bow in back and then a red check bow in front with some little white and yellow flowers and these little like strawberry things, some greenery, and then these, I don't even know what these are. These little, they almost look like white berries, but they're not really berries. I don't know. I found them at Joann's, and I thought they were really pretty, and they look really good with this. So this is my June piece, and I really love it. I don't have any more of these fully finished yet. The next one that I want to fully finish obviously is July, because I'd really like to get it up before July is over. But we'll see. I have to be in the right mood for fully finishing things. I have to be in a very creative, kind of artistic mood to put all this together, and it just I've been wanting to stitch a lot recently rather than finish. So anyway, that is my third fully finished object. I think it's really pretty. It's so summery and cute, and the red and white together, it's just lovely. So those are my 3 fully finished items. I'm really glad. Well, I guess there's more than 3 because I did 2 more of the Year in Chalk. So I guess we could say that's 5 fully finished items ready to display. None of them are right for the season that we're currently in, but whatever. I'm just finishing when I feel like finishing, and yeah, it's been fun. I'm excited to get into autumn. The autumn floral stuff is starting to come out, and I'm going to start collecting some of that when it goes on sale because I refuse to pay full price for anything. But when that starts to go on sale, I'll be collecting some autumn stuff so I can finish some of my Halloween and autumn themed pieces. So yeah. Yay! Okay, let's keep going. I also have 2 stitching finishes, small ones, both from Stitch Mania. And the first one that I have is another hands-on design, A Year in Chalk. I finished May, which means I can probably go ahead and fully finish it. Again, it's not May anymore, but I'll still fully finish it when the desire strikes me. And here is my finish. Very simple, very small. Again, as always, I will link this down below, but it's stitched in 32 count chalk, or stitched on 32 count chalk linen by Zweigart. And I used DMC Blanc for the white, as I always do. And then my green this time was Victorian Motto Mint Julep. That was the green that I chose. It's just a bright, springy green. Plant Seeds of Joy. So that was one of my stitching finishes. That I think makes finish number 11 for, no, pardon. I had 8 finishes from Stitch Mania so far this year. So that makes finish number 9 from Stitch Mania. And then Stitch Mania finish number 10, I finished Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month October. I only have 2 left of this series. I cannot believe that. That's crazy to me. Here it is. This is October. I used the called for orange for this one, which is Weeks Dye Works Carrot, because I had it. I don't regret using it, but I wish I had brightened it up just a tad, because you guys know me, you know that my aesthetic is pretty bright. So it's a little like faded, but it is really pretty. It almost has kind of a shabby chic kind of look. It's not a bright, garish, Halloween-y orange. It's kind of a soft orange. But I still love it. I think it's beautiful. This is stitched on 28 count linen in the color Dirty by Zweigart, and that will be linked down below as well. And yeah, I think it's really nice. There's not much else to say. I can show you the threads that I used to stitch it, because I usually get questions about that. So again, I used Weeks Dye Works Carrot for the orange. Classic Colorworks Mossy for the green. I don't have very much of that left. I used Traditional Sunflower by Victorian Motto, which is a nice kind of sunflower yellow. It's exactly what it sounds like. I used Gentle Arts Brandy for the light brown tan. I used Weeks Dye Works Pecan or Pecan for the darker brown tan color. I used Classic Colorworks Black Coffee for my black. And then for the house, the part of the side of the house that's shaded, this side, you can see it's a slightly different color. I used Old Biscuit Tin by Victorian Motto, and then I just used DMC Blanc for my white. And those were the colors that I used on this piece. So, yay! That is Stitch Mania finish number 10 for 2020. That means I only have 6 more pieces to finish from my Stitch Mania this year. So that's really exciting. It's good to kind of start paring down those whips again, since I had so many after Stitch Mania. Okay, those were my finishes. I think this video is going to be pretty quick. That's awesome. Let's talk about whips. I have 2 whips that I worked on that did not get finished. And on this first one, I went gangbusters on this. I pulled it out and I just was enjoying it so much that I couldn't put it down. And I did a lot. It might not look like a lot, but it is a lot of stitching. So this is, I think I said, either in my last video or the one before, that I really wanted to get back to this. This is Hands-On Design, sorry for the glare, there we go, Starspangled Swine Farm. This was the collaboration between Priscilla Blaine from The Real Housewives of Cross Stitch and Kathy Haberman from Hands-On Design. Priscilla draws the chalkboards and Kathy charted them into cross stitch. And unfortunately there won't be any more collaborations because now Priscilla's doing her own charts, which is awesome and very exciting, but I really love this chart. I'm really liking stitching this. I think I told you when I very first started this piece for Stitch Mania, I got about an hour into it and I was just not enjoying it. And I was like, oh, am I gonna hate this? I don't wanna stitch this if I'm not gonna enjoy it. And then up until that point, I had just been stitching with white. And then I started adding in the colors and I fell in love with the colors in this piece. They did such a good job charting this. So last time you saw this, I just had basically the top border halfway done. And I think I had started on the house. Look at how much I got done on this. Okay, so this half of the top border is completely done. The house is completely done. And the whole bottom of the piece is completely done. That's as far down as the piece goes. So I have the chickens and the grass and flowers, the bunting, the piggies, the flag. I think this is supposed to be Ronnie. So this is Priscilla's dog, Ronnie, I think. Or it's just a cute little dog. And these flowers. And all I have left on this piece is the truck with the pigs in the back, the tree next to the house, and the rest of the border up here on this side. Just this part of the border over here. And then the tree and, oh, sorry, nope, backwards. This part of the border left, the tree and the truck. And that's all I have left to do. Of course, we are already past the 4th of July because apparently I just can't stitch on things in time to have them done for their appropriate season. But this will get done soon and then I will finish this to be displayed next year. Or I might just hang it up in my house because I already have the piece that I want to finish it on to mount it and display it. And so why not? I'm patriotic all year round, so we can put this up whenever. But anyway, I really have been enjoying stitching on this. Again, stitching on my good old chalkboard standby. This is 32 count charcoal linen by Zweigart. This is what I use for all of my chalkboard pieces. It's easier for me to see than straight black, but it still looks like a chalkboard. And it makes the white and the colors pop really nicely. So that is Starspangled Swine Farm. I'll give you one more look. The cute birds and the house is so pretty and the piggies are adorable. Anyway, so that's Starspangled Swine Farm. Still loving it, but I was ready to put it away and work on something else after pretty much stitching only on that for about 4 to 5 days. I've said this before, but I'll just show you quickly. I'm stitching this with DMC instead of the fancy floss, and mostly using the recommended DMC colors in the chart, but there were a few, I think the greens I didn't have enough of, and maybe the reds, so I don't remember exactly which ones I changed, but they're very similar to the recommended. I basically went to my DMC, and if I didn't have the recommended one, I looked for the next closest thing and used that. So that's what I'm using to stitch that, and I love it. I think it's adorable, and I really, really want to order the last 2 charts in this series. I have this one, and I have the bunny one. Carrots and Cottontails Farm. I have the springtime one, but I don't have the Halloween or the winter one yet, but I think those will be my next purchases because I'm really loving that. Okay. Last whip that I worked on this week was also a Stitch Mania start, both of these were Stitch Mania starts that I've been working on. So if I get these done, that'll be finished number 11 and 12. And I pulled out Double Double by the Prairie Schooler, and I will link this down below. It's adorable with the witches. The only thing I wish about this chart is I wish that there were 3 witches, because in Hamlet, the double, double, toil and trouble, that quote comes from a Shakespeare play, that comes from Hamlet, and there are 3 witches, but I can make do with 2. It's fine. This is the 4th one of these small Halloween pieces that are predominantly in DMC 3371 that I've done, and I'm gonna finish them all together. Can't wait to get this done, because then I can actually finish them, and I might be able to get these done in time for Halloween this year, because I'm a little ahead of the game on this one. And last time you saw this, I just had the top part of the border and the bat and one of the witches' kind of hats done, hat and hair, and that was it. And so I've put in quite a bit more work on this. I extended this border down to here. This witch got her face and her body and her hand and her stick that she's using to stir the cauldron. And then we have this other witch I put in, and this is her arm that's coming down, and that's as far as I got. But I've only been working on this for about a day and a half. So this one stitches quickly. Again, I am stitching this on 25 count fabric. This is 25 count Lugana in ivory or cream, I can't recall, but it's by Zweigart. And I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Stitching on 25 count with 3 strands over 2, like I am doing, absolutely gobbles up floss. I have already used an entire skein of DMC in this piece, just in this. Okay, so just know if you're gonna stitch these 25 count 3 over 2 like I am, because it does give you nice full coverage using 3 strands, make sure to buy a number of skeins of DMC. I think I'll probably be able to finish it with 1 more skein of DMC. I don't think I'll need to use a 3rd, but yeah, these things just eat up floss like crazy. So that's really cute. I'm still really enjoying this. I don't think I'm ready to put this one away yet, so I'm gonna keep working on it for another couple of days probably. And then I'll go to my whip bin, or I might have a new start. I don't know. I have been doing a lot of Stitch Mania stitching, but I have other whips in my whip bin. I have some of my big projects that I am kind of feeling like I want to get back to, especially my heirloom nativity sampler. Since I didn't get to that in May, since we went out to visit my parents, I didn't get to work on that in May like I had planned to, and I would love to pull that out and put a little bit more work into that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens after I get done with working on that Prairie Schooler. I have 2 things. Let me show you these before I go to my haul. I have 2 projects that I kitted up just because I felt like kitting something. I don't know. Do any of you get that way? Sometimes I just feel like kitting up some new projects so I can have a new start whenever I want. I don't know when I will actually start these, but I wanted to get them kitted up. So the first one is I went ahead and kitted up Country Cottage Needlework Seasonal Celebrations Autumn. You guys know I recently finished, sorry for the glare, I recently finished Summer, which was a Stitch Mania start. It was actually my first Stitch Mania start. So this is Autumn, and I am going to be stitching this on 32 count limestone linen. That's a pretty, yeah, it's kind of a gray-green, a green-gray, whatever. 32 count limestone linen by Zweigart. This is just a small piece. These 9 by 13 cuts that 123 Stitch sells are perfect size for these projects. They're like the exact right size, with like a nice 2-inch border all the way around. They're just ideal. And I chose my own colors because that's just the way Nell rolls. I have one that's not hole punched, so I don't have it on the ring yet, so I'll show you that in a minute. But I have, here's the one that's not punched. These are the colors I'm thinking about using. I have Primitive Red by Victorian Motto. I have Clockwork by Weeks Dye Works for my orange. There we go. I have Spring Crocus for my yellow. Aussie Parrot by Victorian Motto for my green. And then for my 2 browns, we're going to use Gentle Arts Ginger Snap. Ugh! Gentle Arts Ginger Snap and Victorian Motto Toffee. I thought those looked really good together. And then we'll use Classic Colorworks Bamboo for my white and Weeks Dye Works Onyx for my black. And yeah, I think those are really pretty. They look nice and autumny, but still bright and vibrant, which you guys know is my preference. And they look good on the fabric too. Let me show you. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? They look really nice on this limestone linen. So that is a potential new start. Or I just kitted it up and we'll put it somewhere so that I can grab it when I want to. Sometimes I just get in a kitting mood and I want to kit things up. And then the only other one that I kitted up, just for fun, is one of the, I have 3 of these finished and I purchased the rest of them. This is another hands-on design from around the holidays. This is Oh Say Can You See? And it's the, like, ocean themed one. For me, this would probably be displayed in my house in August, is when I tend to do beachy, summer kind of things like that. So this is Oh Say Can You See? It comes with the velveteen to finish it. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to stitch this on the same fabric that I stitched Where Liberty Dwells. I'm just going to use the other half. This is 32 count linen in, I don't remember. It's the Vintage Blue Whisper. Vintage Blue Whisper, I think, by Zweigart. Let me see if I can get the color to show. There you go. That's the color. Vintage Blue Whisper. It's like a mottled light sky blue by Zweigart. Again, this is a 9x13 cut that 123 Stitch sells, and it's perfect for fitting 2 of these. If you do the flapjack, pillow, then you can fit 2 of these on here. So I'm going to stitch this on this half of it, and I think it'll look great on the blue since it's an ocean themed piece. And again, chose my own colors. I really like the colors in this one. They are right up my alley. They're so bright and cheery. Let me get them so that you can see. And I have 2 here that aren't. Look at these. Oh, so pretty. And will look so good on this blue. Just really bright and vibrant. I'm going to use my very first color in cotton. This was given to me by Leanne. Thank you again, Leanne. This is color in cotton in the color Belize. Oops, I dropped that. Hold on. Because I needed a bright aqua oceany blue. So I'm going to use that. And then I have this by Victorian Motto. This is Shades of Coral. Sorry, Shades of Coral. And it's beautiful, soft coral, not too bright. And then the rest of these, I have Dark Chili Peppers, Rise and Shine, Orange Marigold, Spring Grass by Gentle Arts, Lucky Shamrock by Victorian Motto, Presidential Blue, Erie Canal is my gray, and Cocoa Bean. So again, mostly Victorian Motto, but with a few others thrown in. There's the coral, and there's the aqua. It's gonna be so pretty, so summery, so beachy. Sorry, I dropped stuff. So that's the other one that I kitted up just for fun, because sometimes I just like to play with pretty threads. I like to pull out my hand dyes and my fabric and just play until I find the colors that I want to use. So those were kitted up. They're not really plans. I don't know, I might start them or I might not. Let's talk about haul. I do have some haul to show you this time, which is fun. First thing, I got my June threads from Victorian Motto. I belong to her limited edition thread club. I get 6 skeins a month in her regular floss club. She has 2. She has a regular floss club and she has a primitive. So if your taste runs more towards prim colors, muted colors, then definitely sign up for her prim threads. I've gotten her prim threads before. They're gorgeous. But you guys know I tend to gravitate towards the brighter stuff. So that's what I get. And these were the threads for this month. They're really pretty. We got a gorgeous dark brown. This would be a good one to use in place of DMC 3371. This is called Bittersweet. Beautiful brown black. Really pretty. We have a pink Spring Azalea. A nice bright, ooh, yellowy orange. I like this a lot. This is Sunspots. This blue is so pretty. This is Seaside Blues. And can you see, it's got like almost aqua, but then it also has like a dusty gray blue. This is gorgeous. Seaside Blues by Victorian Motto. And then we have two more. Country Lime. Love this limey green. That would be really pretty in like grass for like a spring piece. Country Lime. And the last one, beautiful pink red called Love Me Red. And also you can see the variegation in it. Really beautiful. Nancy's threads are just, you guys know, I'm obsessed. I use them in everything. So that was the June limited edition thread club this month. And I will link Nancy's blog down below in the description box. The way you sign up for her thread club, if you go to her blog, you'll see, if you look at the page and you look over to the right hand side, or I guess you guys are facing me. Look over to the right hand side, there's a little box on the side of her blog that says limited edition like clubs. And there's information there. It has her email address. You just sign up by emailing her. And then every month she sends you a PayPal invoice for whichever club you sign up for. And like I said, she has thread clubs. She has the regular one and the primitive. You could choose either 6 skeins like I do or 12 skeins. And then she also has fabrics. She has Aida and linen and possibly even weave. I'm not sure if she does even weave. She might just do Aida and linen, and she does all counts and she dyes a different one every month. I've gotten her fabrics before and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. I think I've said this before, but her fabric reminds me of Lakeside linen in how it's modeled. It's a soft model. It's not a really like obvious one. Sometimes, you know, like Picture This Plus, sometimes the modeling, I'm going to show you some Picture This Plus fabric in a minute, can be like really obvious modeling. With Nancy's, it tends to be more soft and subtle and so vintage and just gorgeous. So go to her blog, sign up for her limited edition clubs. I know she's super busy right now, so it might be a month or two before she can get you on her list, but just be patient because she's amazing. She's so talented. And I love her stuff. I've been saying it for years. Okay, last little bit of haul. I purchased some patterns from the Drawn Thread. I have never done a pattern by the Drawn Thread, but I was just browsing around on 123 Stitch one day and saw these patterns and fell in love with them. And so I bought them and I chose some fabric to go with them, and I'm excited. But I've never stitched a Drawn Thread pattern, so this will be interesting. The first one I chose is called Little Bits of Christmas. There we go. And with this pattern, you're given the option of stitching it. Oh, the glare. Apologies. One moment. We're just gonna pull it out because I'm frustrated. Frustrated with the glare. Okay. You're given the option of stitching it either like this, a square where it says Christmas and then little square motifs around. You can do it this way, where it says Peace, Joy, Love. Peace, Joy, Love. You can do it this way, Peace, Joy, Love. Or Peace, Love, Joy, pardon. Or you can stitch just the little individual motifs. Because they're little square blocks, you can arrange them in lots of different ways. I like this square one the best. I just think it's really pretty. And yeah, this is called Little Bits of Christmas. And the fabric I chose is a little different than the picture. I chose to go with Picture This Plus 32 count gingerbread Belfast. And I'm going to show you, I pulled, there you go. Awkward. Okay, Picture This Plus gingerbread. So much darker than the charted fabric, but that's because I want the white to pop really well. Oh, there's a bunny in my backyard. We have a lot of bunnies in Missouri. I pulled a couple of threads from my stash because the drawn thread, a lot of her charts are charted for silks, which I would love to use, but they're very expensive. And I have so many beautiful over-dyed cottons that I typically go with that. Sometimes I splurge on the silks, but more often than not, I'll just convert it to cottons. And I grabbed some that I had, some Victorian motto threads that I had that I think will look gorgeous. And I also grabbed some DMC Blanc, just the white that I will use so you can see how this looks on the gingerbread. Look at those colors. That green looks really dark. It's not that dark in person. Let's see if we put white behind it. Nope, that doesn't really help. Well, anyway, the green is not as dark as it looks there, but it's more of like a pine green. So we have Christmas Greens by Victorian Motto and Red Maple by Victorian Motto. And look at those colors on that gingerbread fabric. I love it. I think that's gonna be so pretty. So yeah, I've never used Picture This Plus gingerbread before, so I'm excited, but that is the drawn thread, Little Bits of Christmas. And then along the same lines, the drawn thread also has and I'm gonna pull it out, a very similar chart called Little Bits of Halloween. The drawn thread has a lot of really cute Halloween charts, P.S. So this is Little Bits of Halloween. Look at how cute. And once again, you can choose to stitch it in the square. You can stitch it vertically and it just says Halloween. You can stitch it horizontally, which says Halloween, or the little individual motifs. I, of course, really like the square one. Look at how cute. And again, the white on this recommended fabric almost gets lost. There's a skeleton up here that you can barely make out. So I chose a fabric that I have used before by Picture This Plus, and this is Picture This Plus 32 count Ale. I am using this for my Lizzie Kate Tingles series, and this is such a good Halloween fabric. It's got this gray gold kind of grungy look to it. I don't know. It's just a really good color for Halloween. So I think for this, and I think the white will pop better on this. In fact, I know it will because I'm going to show you. I went to my stash and looked, and there's more colors in the chart than what I'm going to show you right now, but just to give you an idea. Get the white, the black, I've got an orange, a purple, and a green. These are kind of the colors. Very typical Halloween. Black and white, these are just DMC black and white, DMC 310 and Blanc. And these are a couple of Victorian Motto threads. And look at how good they look on the ale. The white is gonna pop a lot better on that darker fabric. And I think they're just gonna be so cute. Can you see? Anyway, so I chose the ale for this one, for Little Bits of Halloween by the Drawn Thread. And I really like it. I really like how it looks. And then the last one that I got, this is one more Drawn Thread chart. This is not a Little Bits. This is another one of their Halloween charts, because I told you, she has a lot of really cute Halloween charts. This is the Drawn Thread Trick or Treat. How cute is that? I love her font. Trick or Treat. Oh, so cute. So, so cute. Once again, I would probably go with a slightly darker fabric, although on this one, the white is showing up a little better. This glare is horrible. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, the white is showing up slightly better on this one, which is Dirty Belfast. So yeah, that would work. That's what I used on my Country Cottage Needleworks. Totally would work. But I chose to go with something different. This is about the most intense modeling I've ever used, and I'm a little nervous, but also I feel like I'm braver about modeling now than I used to be. This is 32 count Brash by Picture This Plus. It is a bronze. It's kind of almost like a true bronze color, and it's just very, very modeled. And I thought this would look so good. And again, let me grab the black and the white. I once again went to my stash and I pulled some threads. This time I used a classic Colorworks green and I thought these would look so good. So this is Orange Marigold, a Rust Orange Marigold by Victorian Motto. This is English Ivy by Classic Colorworks. And then again the DMC Black and White. And against the Brash, the only one I'm not sure about is the green. It might be a little too dark, so I might have to go back and see. But I really like the orange. I like that orange on this Brash linen. So let's pull the green out because now that I'm looking at it, I think the green's too dark. Those I love. Those I absolutely love. I'll need to go back. This is how I choose colors, guys. I get so many questions. How do you choose colors? How do you do it? This is what I do. I get my fabric and I start throwing threads on it. And I look at the chart and I look at the cover picture and I go, that's not quite right. And I go dig around and find something else. So, you know, this is out. We're not gonna use Classic Colorworks English Ivy. I'm gonna find something else. I might use the same green that I'm gonna use for the little bits of Halloween. This is Haunted Forest. Ooh, yeah, that'd work. I could use Haunted Forest. Or I could go with maybe a slightly brighter green. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so this is Brash. Picture this plus Brash in 32 count for Trick or Treat. So that was my haul. Those 3 charts and those 3 pieces of fabric. All of that thread I already had. And it was just fun to get to play around with those colors. I'm excited to do some drawn thread patterns. I've never done one before and I think they're really beautiful. Those little bits of Christmas and Halloween are so cute and that Trick or Treat's adorable. So that's my haul for this week. That's all I've got for you guys. We're at 45 minutes, so that's probably good. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I also will put my email down below. You can, if you feel more comfortable emailing me directly, please feel free to do so. I have been having some weird stuff going on with my email. Sometimes when I reply to an email, I can't tell if it actually sent because what I get, you know how on my end it'll show what I sent and sometimes it's just blank. But the feedback I'm getting from people is that they are getting my email, so I don't know. But feel free to email me if you would prefer, or you can just leave me a comment down below if you have a question. But that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying your stitching and having fun. And check the description box again for any links to patterns, fabric, stores. I'm going to link as much as possible to help you out. So that's all I've got, guys. Take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.